Thank you very much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What is your name? Where were you born? And where did you grow up?
My name is Nicole Hreniuc. I was actually born here in Phoenix, and I grew up in Suceava, Romania.
Why did your family decide to move from Romania to the United States?
So, my dad actually was a political refugee during the communist era in the 80s. He left the country during the whole regime and started his life in America. He actually got dropped in Arizona when he went through the whole immigration process and got his citizenship. In the 90s, he ended up bringing my mom over to America and they started their life here.
What is the Romanian community like in Arizona?
The Romanian community in Arizona, I feel like, is very church-based, Christian-based. It's very tight-knit, kind of like a Bible Belt community. There's a lot of us here, more than I even expected, but I think it's very tight-knit and everybody knows each other.
Do you speak Romanian?
I do. When I was a kid, I didn't know English actually until I went to kindergarten. My parents never taught me English because they really wanted me to soak up Romanian. I think when I was a kid and learning English, that was the worst part for me, was kind of navigating why nobody speaks the same language as me and why I'm in kindergarten, the kids don't understand me, but I think it was just, now it's easy.
How do you practice your Romanian culture in your everyday life? Are there things that you do in your household that might be distinctly Romanian or even Balkan?
I think the biggest thing, and I think most people can agree with this, is food. I think it's just kind of carrying on all of those recipes and all those little traditions, but I don't think it's really much deeper than that. Other than like holidays or like food, it's just, yeah.
What's your favorite food or like dish that you can think of?
Sarmale, it's just the
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
just the cabbage rolls.
I've seen on Instagram that you've spent quite some time in Romania. Can you share a memorable experience or two about visiting, where you visited, your favorite place you visited?
So I go back every year. I mostly only go back to the capital for a few days just to kind of explore a little bit, and then I go back to my hometown, Suceava. Honestly, I feel like being back just gives me such like a peaceful mood. It's such a recharge for me being there. I think just being in my roots is just so different than being here. And I just mostly just spend the time with my family, just stay inside the house, but it's so nice and so refreshing because it's so different than what I'm used to here. In my city, we have the old King's Castle. It's this huge castle in the middle of the city, and it's a little tradition in my family. We go every year and we kind of just explore it a little bit since we were kids, and my parents take us to all the tours, and we just manage to do it every year, which is fun.
So, what is your favorite place that you have visited in Romania?
Um, I definitely think it could be Cluj. It's the college town, but it has a little bit more like, there's a lot to explore because it's really just made kind of like a tourist town. I really love that place. And I also love that it's so close to like Dracula's castle. It's like right in Transylvania, so it kind of has all those little tourist trap places that I never got to see as a kid because my parents were just so used to it, they didn't really take me. So I think that's my favorite.
Do you listen to Romanian music? Do you have a favorite artist?
I don't
and
listen to it
song?
much, but it's more like I have one of those apps on my phone that you could play radio stations in Europe, and I just listen to like their version of Kiss FM
Uh-huh.
and just listen to the most popular stuff, but I don't really necessarily have like a favorite artist.
Have you kind of ever experienced a sense of identity conflict related to being a first generation American?
When I was in high school, I was very focused on only hanging out with Romanian kids. And because my parents were foreign, they really wanted me to stick with just those friends. And the Americans were just like, we don't know their parents, we don't know their family. So I feel like once I hit college, I finally started having more American friends. And that's when I started noticing that I am a little bit more different. And that's really the most that I've noticed it in America, but in Romania, I feel like I'm just so much more Americanized than I thought, and I really like have noticed that I get really shy around especially people my age, and the fact that when I speak Romanian, I have a little bit of an American accent, and I get embarrassed about it, so I feel like that's kind of when I feel that shift.
How has your cultural background influenced your educational and career goals? Are there specific values or experiences that have played a significant role?
So currently I am hoping to become a lawyer. I'm not sure how that's going, but I feel like a big part of me trying to seek out such a big position and a big career was the expectations that I feel like foreign parents put on you to be the best. I think I was so focused on school and education rather than passions that I really started to seek out bigger careers rather than doing what I love. So right now I'm kind of in like a little funk of like, oh, should I really be doing this? Should I not? But I think that's something that most foreign kids can relate with is like you just go all out, you know? And most of the times it works out, other times it's kind of like, oh, this wasn't me. I graduated right now and I'm like in such a weird phase because it's kind of like, okay, I don't know if law is my passion anymore, but at the same time I don't want to disappoint my parents and I don't want to like let my childhood self down. I think there's a lot more pressure in that sense with having foreign parents because there's that whole guilt of like, oh, my parents, you know, my dad went to prison as a political refugee to take me to this country. Like, I really should take advantage of college and everything I have here, but it's a whole shift of figuring it out, I guess.
What do you think about the Balkan diaspora and building peace in America?
So I feel like we have a big divide, especially with everybody being from different countries, and sometimes I feel like there's different cultures and everybody thinks that we're not too similar, but I think we all come together, especially as Balkans. I feel like we really are more similar than what you think, and it's pretty fun being able to have that in common with people that I meet, especially when they are from countries close to me or they're unexpectedly Romanian. It's just really fun getting to share that experience and realizing that we really are so similar.
Do you have any advice for us on preserving our cultures while living in America?
I think it's something like even just cooking the food, or I guess even taking the time to watch a movie in your native language, or I guess something as stupid as like getting on the side of social media where like memes are in your native language, you know, like kind of like little stuff where it's like you can kind of feel that connection and want to learn more about your community and culture. Like, I know that's really goofy, but like memes were a big thing for me with like Romanians, and it's so funny because it's such a different like social media aspect, and then you realize like, oh, I feel like I'm kind of getting a taste of like what people think are funny there. Like, I think it's just little stuff like even reading a book or, you know, whatever you feel like is kind of enriching that part of yourself.